Hi, hola, welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm the humble apprentice, your Friday host, and I'm very happy to be back for season 12. And we're on week 1, and this week's topic is how to charge your tools. When I choose a tool or something that I'm going to use in my practice or put on my altar or wear, once I decide on the object, the first thing I do is I cleanse it. And I can cleanse it with air, through incense smoke from resin or like sage, or a bark or a tree like Palo Santo or cedar or juniper. So the smoke can come from, different materials, and it's representative of air. I also cleanse things by blowing on them with my breath and my intention. Next is fire. I sometimes pass things over the flame of a candle. And for water, I take things sometimes to the lake here, and I ask the lake to cleanse the object. You can also take it to the river and have the river wash away any energies that don't need to be in the object that you're going to cleanse. And for earth, you can bury your object for a number of days, or from full moon to full moon or new moon to new moon. So the elements can be used to cleanse as well as to charge. I know that the topic is charging, but before I charge, I always cleanse. You have to remove the energy that's already there, the intentions that are already there, even if it's from a previous working of your own, to make space and to make sure that you're not going to have any influence from any previous working or any previous intention on your object. And then I charge. One of my favorite ways to charge is with a full moon. It's just, I love it. Going out in the middle of summer, in a warm summer evening with a clear sky and the full moon, and I just place the items on my altar, my outside table altar, and I fill my items with the light of the moon, the energy of the moon. I fill them up until they're glowing and emitting. I can feel the energy of the moon in them. You can also charge them in the new moon. It depends on what your intention is, what your working is. The sun is another very powerful method of charging. So I try not to leave items outside for too long because the sun is very, very strong where I live, and it tends to take away from the coloring of crystals. It makes them fade. There's a lot of moisture where I live also. If you leave items that are made of metal, they tend to rust very quickly. I left my cauldron charging. I wanted it to charge for a week, but when I got back to it, it was rusty from a few places. So yeah, you just have to be careful, with how you charge and how you cleanse your items. Different materials react differently to fire, water, air, moisture. Another thing to keep in mind is the deities that you want to work with, using the element that's more natural for them. For example, Diana would be, something I would charge with moon energy. Do a little research on the deities that you're going to work with and what planets they're associated with, what days of the week they're associated with, what hours of the day would best suit, the your working or your charging. Sigils are also great ways to empower, charge the items they're working with. You can either draw it or paint it on the item you're working with, or for example, they're great for charging candles and putting your intention on candles because you can carve it on there. Another thing to consider is the amount of times you're going to charge the item. For me, I think of it like a battery. How much charge do I want to fill the battery with? How much power do I want to pour into it? You can spend a few minutes with the item, every day for a week or a couple weeks or a month, depending on how much intention you want to pour into your item. For like jewelry that I use as shields or for protection, I pretty much charge it before I wear it every day. I set the intention. I visualize what I want the item to do for me. So you can charge an item for a long time and then use it, or you can charge it every time before you use it. It depends on what your needs are, for that particular object. For example, if you create an oil for prosperity and you set it on your altar to charge and you set your intention, you can come back to it every day and shake it and hold it and pour your energy into it and your intention. And to me, it just feels like every time I'm adding more and more and more power to the oil and to the outcome. That's some of the ways that I cleanse and charge the items and the tools that I use in my practice. And I'm very happy to be back. Thank you for watching. Please like and share our video if you think that anybody can get some insight on, what other practitioners are doing in their craft. That would help our channel very much. Have a good evening. Stay safe, stay warm, and blessed be.